Hey everybody, this is Angie, also known as The Light. Welcome to my channel. Please stop what you're doing, like this video, share it, subscribe to my channel. You will not regret it. If you'd like to make a donation to me, you can do so. My PayPal information and my Cash App information will be in the description bar or in the comment section below this video. When you donate to me, I will email you and ask you, do you have a topic or, a situation that you're going through, and I will do a video response for you. You get your own video. So when you donate to me, whether it's 10, 20, 30, or whatever it is that you choose to give to me, that's fine. I will do a video. Of course, the more you donate to me, the longer your video will be, the more in-depth it will be. Thank you to those who already have donated and have gotten their video. I really appreciate it. But still, even if you don't donate, you will still be watching free content. Okay, so I was like, you know what? Let me get this video out because this has been on my mind for a while. And I did a video before about my experience dating somebody who had a narcissistic mom, but I was like, you know what, I need to really talk about this again, because it's not just men who have narcissistic moms, but this just really has been on my heart to talk about. And I think it's because I was watching Ayala Vazant Fix My Life episodes. It's brand new. She has brand new episodes. You can find them on YouTube, and she's on OWN Network, which is Oprah's network. And in some of the people that she's been helping, mothers have a lot to do with failures of marriages. Parents in general can ruin your marriage, especially narcissistic parents can ruin your marriage. And I know people who, married the wrong people because their parents were narcissists. Most likely what happens is, if you were raised by a narcissist, chances are you're going to end up dating narcissists. That was for me too. I was raised by my narcissistic stepfather, and every man that I was attracted to were narcissists. And I still attract narcissists to this day. But, thank God, I know about narcissism to where I can wean them out and get rid of them. I attract healthy individuals as well. Friends and healthy men, who don't have personality disorders. But that doesn't really happen until you start to go through your healing process. So, I dated my last boyfriend, who I just spoke about in one of my last videos. I think I called him Dave or something like that in the video. But yeah, so when I was dating, let's just call him Dave. When I was dating Dave, I found out that his mom was a narcissist, and it made sense to me. But I met him in 2009. And then we on and off through the years, and then we got back together in 2014. And his mother played a huge part in us breaking up. And I saw why he introduced me to his dad back in 2009, but he never would introduce me to his mom. And I used to think, oh, maybe I wasn't special enough, and that's why he didn't want to introduce me to his mom. But no, the truth was he didn't want to introduce me to his mother because his mom was a crazy ass narcissist. The narcissist, the worst of the worst. Narcissists, yes, they have that same spirit, but there are some that are completely overwhelming, okay? And his mother was one of the worst narcissists I've ever came in contact with, meaning her spirit was so dark, her voice would shake the house, okay? That's how demonically possessed this woman was. So I say on my channel, I don't just look at narcissism as a mental illness. I look at it as a spiritual possession as well. Okay? So, my encounter with his narcissistic mom was horrible. You know, from day one, she tried to compete with me. If I brought over dinner for him, she made sure that she fed him already. You know, she would critique my food. I mean, she wasn't eating my food, but she'll say, "Oh, well, what did you put in that?" You know, trying to make it seem like I couldn't feed my man. Okay, I can feed my man. Do I look like I can feed a man? So I would cook, you know, cook for him, cook at my house, and then travel to his house and bring him food because I'm that type of a girlfriend. I'm very catering. And he'll say, "Oh, I ate already," or she'll wait until I got to the house. And because his mom, it's a two-family house, so he lived downstairs, his mother lived upstairs. And so as soon as she probably heard me like come into the door, because you can actually hear through the home, she'll call him, "Dave, Dave," or she'll call his cell phone, or she would bang her foot on the floor to tell him to come upstairs. And he'll be up there for like sometimes 30 minutes to an hour, and I'm like, you know, "Babe, what's going on?" Because like, doesn't she know you're a grown man, you have a girlfriend, like I'm coming over, I work, and I'm coming here on my days off, like our time is limited. You know, like you with her, you live in the house, like you can see her all the time. But at the time he lived in Long Island, I lived in Queens, so I'm like, listen, I travel very far to come spend time with you, like you need to put your foot down. And, you know, it just was very evident. And this is what happens when you're dating or you're married to somebody whose parents are narcissists. They're never going to choose you. You're always going to be on the back burner. The narcissistic parents will always come first. And you have to understand the narcissist in their mind, and most likely, no offense, your narcissistic parent, they settled. They had to settle because they really can't get anyone that good. And then if they do marry somebody good, they change them. They belittle them. They take a person who has self-esteem to a person they make them into a person who has low self-esteem. Okay, so if you ever look at a narcissist, the dynamic of the marriage or relationship, there's always that one overbearing, okay, which is a narcissist, and then there's that quiet, you know, to themselves, obedient type of partner, spouse, okay. And I'm not trying to insult, you know, if your mother or your father is the empath or the submissive one in the relationship, because this is how it has to be. This is the dynamic one. My mother was the same way. She was the submissive. She submitted to the abuse and stayed with a narcissist for 12 years. So that's how it works. Yes, two narcissists can be together. Do I think two narcissists can be together forever? Hell no. Because there's going to be a point where they won't be able to get along anymore. The narcissist needs you to bow down to them, needs you to bow down to their bullshit and their laws, okay? You have to bow down to them or it won't work, okay? So being with Dave and his narcissistic mom, it was a complete battle. And then he finally came out and was just like, "Yes, I know my mother's crazy, but what am I supposed to do, Angie? What am I supposed to do?" And I'm like, stand up to her. That's what you're supposed to do. But me telling him to stand up to his narcissistic mom, I became the enemy. I looked as if I was trying to make him choose me over his mother. And it wasn't that. I wanted Dave to choose himself. I wanted him to look. If you can't even talk to your mom ever again, you need to do that. And because Dave has a narcissistic mom, Dave has multiple children by different women, okay? Dave was married before and got divorced at a very young age. I think he got married at like 19, 20. Every woman he stays with, he's not happy. The mother doesn't approve. The mother runs her away. And he is just emotionally empty, and it's very, very sad. He's not a bad person. I'm not making excuses for my ex, but it's very sad how these narcissistic parents turn what they turn their children into. And I have a very close friend. I'm not going to say who this person is, but I have a very close friend of mine who, before we became close friends, we actually dated. We dated, casually dated. We weren't committed, but we were dating, I'm going to say, for like a good 6 months. We were dating heavy for a good 6 months. We were trying to do the whole Christian thing. We weren't having sex. I was Christian at the time. And we were just playing by the rules, playing by the biblical rules. And the only thing that I would say I did do that was, I guess, questionable was there was some times that he would stay at my house and I would stay at his house. But he still lived in his mom's home. He had his own apartment in the mother's house. But, there was times where I would come through the front door and I would see his narcissistic mom. At the time, I'm talking about the friend now. I'm going to call the friend, let's call the friend Evan. So, Evan had like the basement apartment in his mom's home. So, there were times where I would bump into her when I would go visit Evan. And then there were times where I didn't see her at all, okay? And when I would see her, and it's crazy because every narcissist, you feel like a weird energy. I don't know about y'all, but I always feel a weird energy when I meet a narcissist. It's like a disconnected feeling. It doesn't feel human. It feels like that person is watching me. It feels like, oh man, I wish I could describe it, and I'm sure some of you understand what I'm speaking of. When you're around a narcissist, you feel like you won't be able to connect with them. It's so surface based. You feel like they're watching you. It doesn't feel 100% human to be around these people because there's no emotion at all. It's like, even if they're partying or laughing or smiling, it's just not real. It doesn't feel real at all. And I would try to make conversation with Evan's mom, and I would say, I'm sorry, but your mom is so surface based. I can't make a connection with her. And he wanted me to make a connection with her because he was like, you know what? I'm digging you. I'm feeling you. You could be my wife. Like, and I was feeling him too. Like, I was, not falling in love, but I felt like I loved him. He was telling me that he loved me, and we talked about marriage, And, I don't know, through some time, he just basically told me that I wasn't the one. And I said, okay, well, you feel I'm not the one, then I'm just going to keep you in the friend zone. And that's what we did. And it was easy to do that. And this is why you shouldn't, I can't tell you shouldn't, but this is why, just because I'm talking to a man, that I'm going to sleep with him. And it's hard when you already are having sex with somebody, and you with the narcissist, you can get caught up having sex too quickly. And if you're an emotional person, now there's people who can detach sex from love and feelings, but if you're a person who don't have sex quickly, don't jump into bed with somebody. And that's how a lot of you got caught up with the narcissist too, because you had sex too quickly with them. But anyway, so it was easier for me to detach from Evan in that way because I wasn't having sex with him. So anyway, for some reason, Evan's mom, even when me and Evan decided to just be friends, we didn't like make an announcement because I'm very close to his family. His family is like my mom like grew up with his people in his family. So we're all mixed up together. We would spend holidays together sometime. We were very close. I felt I was very close to his family. They knew me since I was a child. So I thought because they knew me since I was a kid that I would be automatically approved. I spend holidays with you, you know my family and everything like that. You know where I come from, you know my story, you know that I'm not a bum bitch, you know what I'm saying? I do something with my life. Oh, no, no, no. His aunts, his mother, it was like they did not want me and Evan together. And you got to understand, this is what the narcissist does. Of course, I was a great candidate for Evan. The narcissist don't, your narcissistic parent doesn't want to see you with a good man or woman. Okay? Anytime a narcissist approves of your lover, that's not a good person for you. The narcissist is not in a happy relationship. Whether your mother or your father is a good person, they'll never be happy. They're not happy with themselves. They do not love themselves, okay? So, and they can't feel that love and that emotion as we can, okay? So, now that I think back, oh, that's why they didn't want me and Evan together. I was a perfect candidate. Another thing is, they knew because I'm a person who stands up for herself, they wouldn't be able to control our marriage if me and Evan got married. Your narcissistic parent wants to control every aspect of your life, okay? So he ended up marrying another woman who got along perfect with his mom, and they get along very well. They go shopping together, they hang out, they do all these things together. But guess what? Now Evan is miserable in this marriage. And another thing, mentally, your parents have changed you. Your narcissistic parent has changed you. So guess what happens? Because you were raised by a narcissist, whether you are the golden child, because believe it or not, Evan is a golden child. Being that Evan is the golden child, he has this false perception of what motherhood is, okay? What a parent should do for him. That has made him less of a man. He looks for women to take care of him. He's looking for women who are like his mother. And he ended up marrying a woman just like his mom, okay? He should have married a girl like me or, like me. Okay, someone that would help him grow as a man and tell him when he's wrong, and someone who, will make him be a man and not just him living off of his woman, okay? So when you have that narcissistic parent, they didn't raise you to be self-sufficient. They didn't raise you to have a certain amount of independence, especially if you're the golden child, and Evan is the golden child. So he doesn't have the ability to push himself to be the head of the household in his when he's being a married man. He can't push himself to be a better husband. He has to lean on a woman. Even to this day, he still leans on the narcissistic mom for everything, to bail him out, to pay his child support, and all these things, etc., etc. And that's how your narcissistic parent sets you up, okay? When I think back to my mom and my narcissistic grandmother, my grandmother stayed friends with all of my dad's lovers, okay? Ex-lovers, ex-girlfriends, and even the most recent girlfriend he had before he passed away. But she hated my mom. And you know why she hated my mom? Because my mom didn't bow down to her. That was the reason why she hated my mom. And that's the reason why Evan's mom hated me. And that's the reason why my ex-boyfriend Dave's mom hated me. The narcissistic parent are going to choose the worst person for you. It could be a friendship. My narcissistic grandmother loved my narcissistic best friend. She used to say, oh, forgive him. Be his friend. He loves you. He's the best. Stick with him. Matter of fact, you should go move with him. Okay? She saw him torturing me. She saw the things he did to me, the bad things he did to me. And she kept saying he was a good friend. But when I really had a good friend that came around, she would make up all these lies and say, oh, God told me that they're really not your friend. God told me to tell you to stay away from that person. And all along, the people that she was telling me to stay away from were actually good people. The narcissist wants to steer you down a dark hole, okay? They don't want to see you have good friends because they're not a good friend. They will never have good friends because they're shitty, okay? They don't want to see you go off and live happily ever after and get married and have beautiful children who are successful, because that will never be their story, because they don't possess the qualities to have a quality partner, the qualities to have quality friends. They know that even if they did gain friends, which they never have friends, they have supply, they know it's not real because nobody really likes the real them. They don't present the real them. They do all these lies and schemes to get good people in their life. They have this avatar. They have the false persona is what captures the good lover. And they don't have anything to keep them. So you think they want to see you marry a good man or a good woman? Nope. And that's what your narcissistic parents are doing to you. And that's why a lot of you aren't in successful relationships. That's why. Because sometimes you are really attracted to the bad people. That's the reason why a lot of people say, they go, oh, good girls like bad boys. Maybe that good girl was raised around a bad man. And that's why she's energetically attracted to a bad person. It feels good. That's all she knows. Her father was a narcissist, or her dad was, in and out of her life. That's what she equates love to be. She never seen or felt, experienced a good man loving her. So whenever somebody runs away from her, she'll chase him. And the same thing goes for men. You men, sometimes y'all don't want a good woman. You don't want a good woman because you never experienced a good woman. And I'm sorry, I truly believe, and I heard Iyanla Vanzant say this before, your mother teaches you how to be a man. It could be your grandmother or whatever, that motherly figure will teach you how to be a man. Now, how to be a man, meaning how to love a woman, how to love your partner, whether you're gay, straight, whatever. How to love that partner, okay? And, a lot of men out there have toxic moms, and that's the reason why they call them fuck boys and fuck girls today. A lot of these fuck girls and fuck boys, they had narcissistic parents. They had toxic parents, and that's the reason why they are the way they are. And you know what? If you grew up with a narcissistic parent, it's time for you to check yourself. Are you addicted to narcissistic lovers? Are you addicted to that? It's time to heal. It's time to let that go. Seriously, okay? And I was that girl. I was addicted to narcissistic men. Because in my mind, a lot of narcissists, they put on this persona. It's a confidence, okay? It's a false confidence that I was attracted to. Because I grew up in a home with a narcissistic dad that, he was handsome, he was tall, he always dressed nice, he always had a nice car, he always kept everything, pristine, so that everyone around would think that our lives were great, when all inside he was ugly and dark. So what you think happened when I started dating? I always looked for the guy with the nice car, with the nice clothes, the handsome guy, not knowing I was supposed to be looking at spirit first. Okay? So I feel for you guys who actually married a narcissist, but who grew up with these narcissistic parents because you're still attracting the narcissistic lover. You know, it's really sad. My aunt actually married a narcissist, you know, and she died of a brain aneurysm, you know, in her 40s. She was like 41 when she died. Beautiful, beautiful, young. That's young. And I really believe it was because of the stress from being married to a narcissist. You know, I remember like when I was little, I didn't know my uncle was a narcissist, you know. And what I mean aunt, I mean my biological father's sister. She was such a great aunt to me. And I remember my aunt she was gorgeous. She was, you know who she was shaped like to me? Like Jennifer Lopez, like that just cute body with the booty. And she always used to dress so sexy, and I used to be like, oh, my aunt was so beautiful. You know, I was with my aunt was so beautiful. I want to look like her when I get older. Between her and my mom, they were just such pretty women, but just like so feminine, so sexy. And I remember my uncle, like my aunt was in the car, and my uncle would lean over out the car and scream and shout at women in front of my aunt, like, woo-wee, girl, you got some sexy legs. Hey, baby, you got a nice booty. And I'm like 7 years old looking at my uncle like, that's not right. I even knew that at 7 years old. And this is the type of shit that goes on with these narcissistic husbands and these narcissistic wives and things like that. And honestly, if you are married to a narcissist, please get a divorce. Get a divorce, because your life will be living hell. You don't want, you know, the vibration of a narcissist that gets you sick and you die of a brain aneurysm or cancer or anything that's worse, because energy, you know, can create disease, okay? Harbored pain can create disease, all right? It is not just things we're eating. Energy, hardship can cause diseases, okay? I think I covered everything, but the narcissistic parent will never ever want to see you happy. Never. They'll never. They've raised you, they've set you up so that you'll choose the wrong partner. Ain't that crazy how that demon works? This is why you got to get away from them. This is why you have to heal and get self-esteem and learn to say no and put up your boundaries, because this protects you from having these, you know, attracting these narcissists in your life. We can't run away from narcissists, okay? I'm sure you talk to, you know, especially if you work in public, okay? I work in customer service, so I deal with, you know, customers all day long. I'm sure there's tons of people who come up to my counter with a personality disorder, whether it's narcissism or even any kind of mental disorder, you know, so you can't run away from them. Your boss can be narcissist, your neighbor, your mailman, you know, like anybody can be a narcissist. You can't run away, but you cannot have intimate relationships with narcissists. I'm sure you'll be in a board meeting with a narcissist one day, you know, or have to do some type of business with a narcissist. You can't run away from them. They're all over. So, yes, you cannot have intimate relationships with these people, meaning close-knit friendships, you know, love relationships. And it's funny because I heard a psychologist said, really what you do with narcissists, the most you can do is you can party with them or you can F them and throw them out. That's sad, but I get it. She's right, okay? So you can't have close-knit relationships with narcissists. It will never work. And you can't sit around waiting for Jesus to change them either. So, hopefully that shines some light on you. Maybe, you know, that could be holding you back from meeting the right partner. Maybe you're still not healed. Maybe you're still addicted to bad people. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Hopefully this video was of some help for you. Peace and blessings. Mwah.